Hey YouTube guys and YouTube gals, it's me Magnum over at Guns and Cars with 2 Z's if you please. What you see here is my dinner. This is a sirloin tip roast that just came out of the smoker a few minutes ago. This is some delicious potato salad that Mrs. Magnum made, and of course some peas. Now let's hop in the Wayback Machine and go back and I'll show you how this all came about. Stick around. I am going to smoke a couple of items tomorrow, and I wanted to show you what I'm doing this evening to get it prepared. What we have here is a chuck roast that's a little under 3 pounds, and then about a 2.5 pound sirloin tip roast. And we're going to be using some Lee & Perrins Worcestershire and some Famous Dave's rib rub. And we're going to get these ready and put them in the refrigerator overnight, and then put them on the smoker tomorrow. And we should have enough here for several meals that we can freeze part of. So I generously coat that with Worcestershire. And then we also want to generously coat this with the rib rub. And we're going to do both sides. Now this side on the sirloin tip is mostly fat, as you can see, but we're still going to put that on there. We want a little fat on here because otherwise this roast is going to come out very dry if we cook it to medium well or well done, if it didn't have any fat on it at all. So we do this again, and we do this, and that's going to pretty much use up the last of that container, which works out perfectly. So stick around. I got one more step to do here, and then we'll be done. So don't go anywhere. Okay, the last step of this is to take a large freezer bag and insert this into the bag so that it can marinate and soak up all that good stuff overnight. I'm hoping the chuck roast is going to fit. And it looks like it is, like a glove. So this is what we have, and that's going, as I said, that we'll let that marinate and soak up that rub spices overnight, and tomorrow we'll put these on the smoker, and I'll get back with you at that point. We are out now on the Magnum deck. It's about noon. It's a nice day here, a little overcast, but the temperature's below 80, so we've got a great day for barbecue and smoking. I've taken the meat out of the refrigerator to let it warm up to room temperature for about 30 minutes, and at the same time I've started the smoker, got it all prepared and ready to go. So we're waiting to get the temperature up to about 230 degrees in the smoker, and then we will put the sirloin tip roast and the chuck roast in there and get it started. We're probably looking at about, I'm guessing, 4 to 5 hours. We want the interior temperature of the meat to be right at 150 to 160 for well done. So that's where we are. I'll be back in a little bit at the next step. Okay, we're back. The smoker is up to temperature, and we're getting ready to put the chuck roast in. So we've got it, it's not quite up to room temperature yet, but it's close enough, and we're going to go ahead and put that back in the smoker. So you guys wait right here, I'll be right back. And this is the one we're going to put the meat thermometer in so that we can monitor the temperature on it. We're going to start out with the fat down, and then after an hour or so we're going to turn it over so that the fat is on the top and it continues to drip down into the meat. So that's where we're at this point. Stick around. Okay, just to bring you up to speed, as you can see, we've got the 2 roasts in the smoker. We've got the temperature probe in the sirloin tip roast. It is currently showing a temperature of 46 degrees. That needs to be up around 150. The smoker itself is up at 221. It's set for 235, but it's at 221 now since we had to open the door. It cools off quickly. I have added some chips to the, see that little handle right there? The chips go in there, and as soon as it gets up to a little bit warmer, we'll see, well, actually we can see some smoke coming out of the top right now. Not much, but a little bit. So we're starting to get some smoke going on. I will after the temperature gets up, I will close that or open that vent up so that we get a good circulation of smoke. So we got about 4.5 hours to go here before we get finished. So stick around. Go ahead and do something in the meantime because it's going to be a while. So we'll talk to you later. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we're back. The meat has been in the smoker for about 2.5 hours. The interior temperature, according to the probe, is 163. I'm shooting for about 170 to get well done. When it cooks up to about 165, I'm going to take it out and wrap it in foil, and that will typically add between 5 and 10 degrees to the internal temperature. The reason for wrapping it is to let the juices redistribute, and you need to let it rest for about 20 to 30 minutes before you serve it. Okay, it's time. It's been 3.5 hours. Our internal temperature is up to 163. So we're going to pull these and wrap them in foil, let them rest for a half hour or so, and see what they look like. So hang on, stay right there. Alright, this is the sirloin tip. It was about a 3-pound roast, and it actually looks pretty good right now. So I'm going to just carve off a little chunk of this and see, or I'm just going to cut into the center of it and see if it looks like it's done. By golly, it does look like it's well done. I think it's going to be a little bit tough, but we slice it thin across the grain. That looks done. So we're going to wrap it up. I'll be back in a bit.